Talofa, so fui manuia lo fionga Savea. Afkai lava mulea vangoa nenia fiafi. Ai ngai lo NFL jersey fa bea kikulu akul kama ya tua.
Yeah,
Tango
tamo Jesse Sapolo 61.
Sa polu.
Yo.
O le 49ers.
Sa o sia tu le lua fesu mo le fa. E LA ia na mato feido ia ia stasio fa fianga tele lava sa o PCI. Ia malu e lol tamalo. And look, it's the limited edition that he had, and it's signed at the back, number 61 when he was retired.
He was the man, back in the day.
Yeah. I will fit tonu wala because ole polkalambe la songa fua.
Yeah.
O tala i ta'alonga fo ia sa umatu fo ine le fai unga le vai aso. Le angkako laki e ngai kukiki aka ko kako fai inga i le USA. I le ta'alonga le manu Samoa, le na manu malo mai i Osaka, Japan in the weekend. Le na. And mailo waso ma. Nisi fo i o ta clients o nawa matana. Telefoni atu ma wala au atu.
Bisi mea, paftai lava. Mwa bisi al mea last week, all last week. Getting appointments. Thank you.
Olea fai ale tātal noanga e ma taua tupele nu mera ida ia.
Yes, please.
Tau fiofi mamau matusi fo e tamam tina ma tutua ma ave e lato whanau. Pai le nu mera le al tamal nao mat ma Savea le na tal no mai ai. Tau na fai tātou insurance pui tātou mea tō tino pui fo i le soifua. Awana i pisi vale pe o mai se wha alawe lave. La ua iai. Why do we have to have a private medical care and cover?
Thank you. Well, first and foremost, really quick disclaimer again. This is just a high-level presentation, high-level generic information. It's not advice. Among me say advice. Yeah, books appointment, really may out. And then I can come and see you to take you through the advice process. Savea, private medical insurance. In New Zealand, we are lucky that we have free medical cover through the Whanamai. Samoa, North Shore, Okilangi. But, however, level whakali. Umi whakali. Ke whakali for a korkas kausanga, le whakali for an operation, le whakali for a specialist. Whakali facial tests. So during that time, and so for private medical insurance, you go straight into the private whanamai, fully paid, and all your specialist visits with the surgeon is all paid. And so it's a very taua because you're straight in there.
So
sooner you're in there,
timing is the essence.
And you can get back to work straight away. Well, the statistics there in Usila, this was a few years ago. I'm just looking at my screen up on this side, Savea. $1.79 billion was lost in the New Zealand economy due to absenteeism. Olangawinga. And that affected the economy. Fikus furu 2% kangaka between kausanga kolusul kausanga ma fastu kausanga are likely to make a claim against the the health insurance. Why are people going to the whanamai? 18% accident labea. Oka valusul kasi pesenge ngasi. So more people going to the whanamai for ngasi than labea. Silvia. And so those are the statistics in New Zealand. Nearly half of the New Zealand Kamaro laws and a third of the fingers have estimated to have a risk of getting cancer before the age of 75. 250 plus Kiwis diagnosed with cancer every day. Non-pharmac drugs. So non-pharmac drugs, the government only support a small window of pharmac drugs. So if they can't support it, because they haven't got the drugs to support you, to diagnose you, to give you the treatment. That's why it's our medical insurance, the private medical insurance, because it's covered up to almost for non-pharmac drugs. Very, very important. So yeah, that's pretty much the
and
stats.
then not only that, Pharmac controls all the medicine, and if it's not subsidized through government agencies, and you don't know, winga motua tinga ina o tātou tā ua ile nā. Ina ia file insurance e te le nofo, ma whātalitali, e aru sa'olo lava iai, ia mawhaia tong fitinga ina ia vave. Because a lot of people don't realize when you're absent from work, you're not an asset to the government, to the company, but you're a liability because the company will lose money. So ste miara lai te le whainga luengai. Ia, o te mwhola nai lusi tupe ale company.
Sao le lei. 100%.
Tā o mai lai I le tā ua te leo le mea lea. E whape whea o na au ngā le mea lea, a benefit, employee benefits, scheme help with mental illness because tasi lea mea matau tia o le lava o le whaasoa, ma le vai o le tupe maua le ainga, tele me whai, e o ina maua le tangata mio ngase o le mawhauwhau. Sao noa le matau pule.
O le vai aso ngai Savea o le mental health or mental well-being week for New Zealand.
Oh, right.
So this week is
Good
the mental well-being week. Yeah, it's really good. They so client, they si vai aso nga ua si lo client. Na mga mi le medical insurance ai le mawhai. Because o kele anga ngasi o whai fuisi ma mafa e kangaka lea. So she went and asked her ngalwenga, or ngalwenga back and save. I won't say which back and save. So we had a meeting this morning with the HR manager back and save to put in place le melea or the employee benefit scheme. O langawinga, if you put this in place instead of a pay rise, then ole medical insurance was the subject today because this lady couldn't get it. So I'm doing some quotes for Pack and Save. Staff. So they don't have it. So if I made a this is really good. So I'm putting some prices together. If their boss says yes, they can do it, then like I said, the medical insurance is covered for all staff. It's for free, and if there's something wrong, it's all covered. There's no medical underwriting criteria. And you don't have to wait in the long waiting queue for mai. It's straight away. Yeah. So kalosia maua mai se kali, positive one from the pule. The coupe. It depends on his budget with Pack and Save. Yeah.
But it's important. Ta ua telele ngatala mo oani ni vaenga voile pe musu o ile company e faise me fa pe insurance fa pe mo tangata whaingaluang.
It's mainly the medical insurance facing konka. When it comes to employee benefits, most times if you had a company to do life insurance because it's more common. But when it comes to medical insurance, it's a little bit more expensive. But it's very good because, like I was explaining to the lady this morning, it's good for the mafofau, the mental well-being, mental illness, the like you said, Savea, level, they're off work for a long time. Yeah, they're no good to society, to the government, to the employer. And then the employer has to kokongi another kupe to employ some new employers. To train new employees, train new staff. So putting this in place, it saves them that money of rehiring people, pe lavea, pe mai, pe off work.
So it should work both ways. Not only the person, it should be a greater asset, a valued asset to the company, but the company too has to look after their staff.
Yes.
Should you replace an existing life and policy trauma policy? Te awhai ei niau ngase fo leo lawa umana maua. Lawa ei ngase ngai a te oe. O la me tau na whai.
Yeah, mangat fisili. Ai ngase lo kingo. And your existing policy, la more exclusions for the ngase. For my existing insurance company, yeah. E cover oil melea, ai le cover oil melea. Because kene ngase so that's not covered. Lo pakua, kala vea, luafim lua ele cover. Lo ko au lea le cover, lo vai, but everything else cover. Oi, diabetes, le cover. So, ulwingon menga, those are exclusions. Afapea e kele exclusions in your existing cover. And then when I sit down and look at a new insurance company, to compare with that one, it's I can then weigh and assess what's best for the customer. Akele exclusion, akele ngasase, it's okay for me to look at swapping. But if your existing cover it's got leaingi exclusions, no loadings on the price, it's what we call the clean skin standard terms approval. It's a dangerous about swap to another insurance company because the insurance company will put all those exclusions on, but that insurance company had no exclusion. So and don't swap it to the new one. Otherwise, claim when it comes to claim time. So you have to be very careful. If you have no exclusions on your existing policy and then you swap it to a new cover.
So chronic diseases o meo ngasele pepes o ngase a fo le mawai I le tangata peila le o le suka your insurance lato to use that as an exclusion from the policy?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yes. So, and they will exclude it. And so, maybe I'll swap the cover from one company to another company. Exclusions the company fold there. But the other company had no exclusions. It's
no
not good.
Premium. How do you lead premium, to do a cost or a quote on an insurer?
Yeah. So, ole quote if fua le kangaka. For example, if the kangaka was, let's say, fast food kausanga, 6 foot umi, let's say, ivas fulu kgs, no suka, lengi diabetes, healthy. Le ula. Kangolo au fele quote based on or le mele or called the standard terms. So just a straight quote. But afai, or kangaka lea, e fasu kausanga, let's say 5'5" le pupu kama. Let's say se lau 2 fulu kgs. Mamafa pupu, le lang suka, le ngasele, or the quote is not standard. Kangolo au vili insurance company, mangu for I deal with 5 companies. Chubb Life, Partners Life, Fidelity, Astron, AIA. And I say to them, I email them, I say, hey, lafo mele quotes, hula kangaka lea, mamafa lea, kausanga lea, ula, ngase, mama, and then they will look at it for my usually. Kuuele, lua se laupa senge le loading. Unga le quote. Olanga winga. The quote is, the price is going to go up because of the 200% loading.
Yeah. And it is a more risk factors.
It's risky. Risky.
Okay.
That's why they do the loading, Savea, because it's too high risk for them. If it's too mamafa, if they're too short and it's too heavy, for my company, I'm sorry, ele go lialo client because it's too high risk for us. Your client has to, lose
weight or
lose weight, lose the suka, and then they will check it. It goes on a fault. And so because too high risk for the company. So it all depends. If the kangaka, the age, may ser kausanga kangaka, le pupul maulunga, mamafa ula or not ngase. So it can be a company to assess each case individually.
These were non-existing, concerns when we were younger. Ole matu ola vola soifua, ole more riskful na ale kai insurance. How do you sort of change policies? Ia, lau policy lea taimi, ma lea taimi, pe tala whengai, pe le tala whengai. What are some of the things that you need to consider?
Yeah, absolutely. Normally, every year, kausanga uma, every 12 months, I sit down with the customer, I review like a policy every year, but it's me every 6 months, just to make sure they lay the customer on what their policy is, or the policy, what's the benefit. So every 6 months to every year, they review. In terms of me switching their policy, like I said before, like be the Malaysia customer, I want to switch. Can you get me a cheaper one somewhere else?
Yeah.
Facing a policy. So I have to, like I said, I have to look carefully. I see ngase, you know, the height, maulunga, mamafa, ulaula. Take all those things into consideration before I decide, is it good to shift Biliai? Because kele mga umia is shift to another company from Chubb, for example, to Partners Life, Partners Life, but it kele exclusions. Yeah, it's not good for the client. It's not in their best interest. So those sort of things can be dangerous, Savea. For me as an advisor, I do my due diligence and I check everything first before I make a kongu decision on is it best to stay where you are, pe sifid company lea.
Malo whaftai. Ko le whawhonga bai le tunu o mātala no, o la upaanga tō tino o le Radio Samoa, ma le tātou polokalame o le Gagaifo o Faiva o le tunu ma le sunga le I whauwhautua e tusa ma le whaoluino tātou tupe, a whai e tele au tupe na iai a tele o malama le leipo o le anmele timina o whai. Wala au le sunga ia Matt, e le Life and Health and Disability Professional, o le o lua fitu, valu tolu iwa, tasi fitu, tasi wha. O lua fitu, valu tolu iwa, tasi fitu, tasi wha. Matt, o lai whalongolongo maisi, ta mamtina mātutua. Wa mātutua, o lo iaia lātou tupe maseleni, e iaia lātou whanau, ai lātou tele I loa po whea o mai ei se whautuanga. Fia sa ili se whautuanga e whesosani ai lātou, a tonu o le mele na o le a whaamarosi ai. Ina ia whaise insurance, ia po se mea fo e pui pui ai, ia le income. Ai me se fo I lātou o lai ngā rurue, a risky kele ia lātou ngā ruenga, ai maua tupele lei, ia, whaile insurance. O lua fitu, valu tolu iwa, tasi fitu, tasi wha. Matt, over to you. Tawa lunga mai oe le tā polo kalame le nei aso whaaftai tele lava mo le teimi ua whaava noa mai mo. O lesi teimi tātala noa ai, o le atatala le tālaina mo le 5 minute. Ina e mwhai ona wala au mai fo I tangata pe e ni la tu vasiri alela am whai ana o tu inatu lau telefoni lea. Yeah, but final words from you, my brother.
Yeah, whaftai lava, thank you. Tai lava mo lava noa. And thank you for your listeners. I look forward to hearing from you. Like I said, private medical insurance, employee benefits, life insurance and trauma as well. For my kinga inga, maliu, very tāua for our family. But otherwise, te lava Savea,
one question. Tasi alif silia of a lot of tina, monota mai no for Samoa. And my final note of fire to us insurance in a to Tongia to ita file policy on their behalf.
Good question. So ilonga Wanganga, they are New Zealand resident or permanent resident.
Okay.
Fai, they are Samoan resident, Seksengi, but not Musila. Maybe I'm thinking Leai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, please look into it and whether there's an insurance company that does do something like that for our parents. And we are looking forward to seeing you next week. We are for le mai ai o ngā ruenga mana ngā ngaifo o Faiva o le nei asunga. Fua soifua ia, Matt.
Fua.